For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 122 of That's a Shame, a number that just rolls off the tongue, as you'll have noticed from my expert cadence. I'm Isaac, joining me just here is Declan, and joining us always, from now to the end of days, it's Stephen Joshua Sondheim in our living room, not quite in the flesh and blood. How would you describe him, Declan? Because you're looking right at his chest in a kind of worried manner, like a gorilla sizing up a much larger gorilla.
I've had a very odd and emotionally draining weekend. That
You're not blaming that on Steve?
No.
No, okay.
Or I just want to explain, because you are, obviously very excited to have him here with us.
I'm fucking ecstatic. It's a lifelong dream.
So I just want to explain at least part of my comparatively lower level of enthusiasm. Okay. A very long and emotionally draining weekend, which then involved driving to St Albans and back.
Cool, that's nowhere you want to be going.
No, only to come home and then immediately at 8:30 get the train to Hackney.
Oh yeah.
And work until 6 a.m.
Nice.
Come home, go to sleep, go out to tutor, come back, get into bed, sort of sleep, get up.
And
not really
remind you too much of Sweeney Todd.
No.
Into the Woods.
And to come into the living room, not really sure what sort of time or day it was. Knowing that you'd just left,
Yep.
And I was therefore alone in the flat.
So you thought.
To walk into the living room, and there, illuminated only by the various stock photos of the Google Chrome cast, was
it's life
size, but just not life shape. Cardboard.
That's an option. You actually get 50p off if they can just make up the proportions. But like, his legs are, roughly that.
In the photo, he was actually like leaning forwards very much. Yes,
I'd positioned him so that, I was hoping that by the time anyone came into the living room, obviously the light from the TV, scariest light there
horror.
Is, poltergeist style, little girl watching the static.
Twin Peaks stuff.
Yeah, but I was also hoping maybe some moonlight would be coming in because I put him near the window. But I knew that just the shadow, he's suited, and it's a very clear, striking silhouette, which is really what Sondheim's known for, isn't it? The silhouette.
Yeah.
And I knew that would, in the corner of the room, really do something for you, and it seems like it has.
I kind of had three immediate assumptions. All three I believed equally.
Okay.
For the half a second that I was afraid.
Yeah.
Or I should say the half a second that I was immediately afraid.
Because the fear continues.
Well, yeah, it's a constant hum.
Because you don't know where it'll be. And obviously,
no. Obviously immediately in my room.
Well, and given the nature of your relationship with kind of the spirit realm anyway, and the altered state, it's a foregone conclusion that he'll be moving of his own volition.
What I can say
the day is over.
Is that if he is ever
you're going to take out a restraining order
5 feet of my bedroom,
he's going to be locked inside your bathroom.
I will rip his abnormally huge head clean off, and I will eat it.
We'll have pictures on at That's a Shamecast, probably not straight away, but keep an eye on there. We'll put some pictures up. But
are you saying I'm not looking my best?
No, I'm saying that
he's not.
He deserves a photo shoot, the likes of which the world's not quite ready for.
So I didn't know. I thought either someone's just broken into the flat
and stood there
and was standing quite
hoping that
horrific.
if they were
might
still
not
enough,
notice. Yeah, sort of like I'm a T-Rex.
There's the bookshelf in its suit.
I thought maybe Mark was having some sort of breakdown
and he'd got dressed up for it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really tell. It's sort of just silhouetted, and because it is sort of like vaguely besuited, I for half a second thought that it was someone here about either A, the TV license, or B, my tax.
That's how it works. They sneak in through the air vent.
Yeah.
And they just stand near the TV until we watch
if
anything.
anything comes on, they pounce.
That'd be a fucking great job.
Oh,
But
dear.
it was none of those things. And from now, I suppose, until the end of days, Steve will be joining us. He'll be kind of the third silent host of That's a Shame. He's standing here. We've created a kind of triangle, which I think is a new dynamic to the show that we haven't had really ever. I don't think we've done, apart from the Dange episode.
It's a shame that Anne Louise will never be staying over again.
Right. Because of the Sondheim.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you're not keeping him in here permanently.
Oh, no, he'll be moving
He'll
all
be
around.
he'll be in your room
No,
predominantly.
he'll be moving wherever he wants.
Predominantly.
Oh, he's free to roam.
And I simply refuse to believe that she will sleep in a bed with him standing there
In fact,
and
that's
with
the
you.
only way.
We can get anything
And
done
indeed anything
anymore.
can occur. Anyway, it's this Sondheim. He came into my life via the medium of my birthday, which was on Saturday, December the 1st. Bette Midler's birthday, of course. What did you do to celebrate that?
I watched that song that she does as the dog from Oliver and Company.
That's really good. Yeah, that's actually the best way to
so
celebrate.
it's the right person, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I mean,
sure.
I'm not going to check.
Yeah,
but
no,
if it's not,
I'm
then
pretty certain.
Who else is it going to be?
Oh, I don't know.
Ron Moody? I wouldn't
I
have thought
think-
so. They very rarely get up for the same roles.
But when they
Hell
do,
of an audition. The birthday took place, and I'm pleased to report, without the trauma of my 25th, which was a psychological devastation.
it was a very odd
It was
day for
challenging.
us all.
Yeah, it was challenging to live through, but I made it a full other year. And 26 kind of happened like a damp squib. I was like, I'm already over the hill now.
Well, yes,
Everything else is just, like Mario when he enthusiastically, you hold down in Super Mario Brothers 3 and he can sort of shoot down a hill and take out the enemies as he goes. It's like very much the opposite of that kind of vibe. It's sort of a gentle Peter.
walking uphill, being tripped up by all the monsters.
Exactly like that. And that's age, isn't it? I think that was
that's it.
Keats that said, because,
In an ode to tortoise.
yeah, an ode to the big Mario boys. Turning 26, of course, it's made me wiser. And
Of course, I can't wait for
the
January 17th when I become a bit wiser as well.
yeah, I mean, of course,
not
it's
as
not
wise
a
as
lot.
you.
Yeah,
no.
You've got a few rungs on the ladder, and I don't see you catching up anytime soon. That's just my understanding of linear time.
Not that you wouldn't love that.
I'd be more than happy to share this view from the wisdom plateau.
Does your comparative age to others
Hmm.
affect this kind of mortality that you have, or have you removed yourself from that? It's just you and the universe in this big.
Well, it's
battle.
always just been me in the universe.
Yeah.
And not just in the sense of age,
Just totally.
just in the solipsistic
Yeah.
sense that, everyone I meet is. Have you ever read that short story about an egg?
Yeah. We don't
so
need to go through that. But
I think what the moral was is that
the one you are now is the best. Because I was going to say, like, would you take? You've got to be 2 years older straight away,
Ooh.
but it means that I'll be 5 years older.
Oh no, not a chance.
You wouldn't wish that on
No,
on you.
and I'm not like I don't look at a baby and get jealous of it.
I actually think you
Stupid
probably do.
baby. The only time I am ever jealous of babies because I think by and large they've got quite an annoying life. They're always quite pissed off about
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't really say
Can't
what
communicate
you need, yeah.
through any means really, apart from just bawling, which is very frustrating for them. But when you see a baby when it's raining and it's in its pram and they've got those transparent
yeah.
waterproofs, the baby it's probably got a blanket on, very warm. It's being transported, and it gets that. It's one of life's great joys is being under the transparent cover when rain is.
Well, I
happening.
know what to get you for your 27th.
A giant big pram.
Just push you around in the rain.
What a day! Can Steve come? He's made of paper, so
I'm
you better wrap up.
It's going to be made out of him.
It's going to be very good. Wisdom comes from many sources, and of course, while I've unlocked another innate kind of level up, ding, style of new truths that I couldn't possibly begin to communicate
No, I wouldn't want you to
to
try.
the rest of you. Another source is the internet. Now, you've been there before.
I've dabbled.
Have you been to theshineproject.com?
There's lots of websites. Maybe I have inadvertently.
I think it's a jewelry brand, but they've also... There was a period of like early 2010s when I think every website thought it had to have a blog, regardless of what it was.
Well, you do, don't you?
For SEO and stuff. And the Shine Project didn't hear that no one gives a fuck about that anymore.
Oh, no.
So what they've kept up is this insistent rattering away, which is a new word, and one that, like I say, is an unlock when you get to this
Steve,
particular
you
level.
thought...
Oh, very, very good.
Oh.
I'd like a big hug. Okay, Steve. Oh, there it is.
You and Steve, it's like you share a mind.
It is, and a mouth. It's nuts. What I found was 26 life lessons on my 26th birthday. They're all very short. They're all very good and accurate, and that will become clear as we power on through them. I'm going to just keep going. Feel free to interject whenever you find one that particularly resonates, because of course I'm presupposing that they're all going to affect you spiritually. But when one stands out from the crowd, when there's that diamond in the rough of new advice, or old advice that's Taylor's old as time style, but repackaged in a way that just clicks.
Cliche is a cliche because it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad you've been brave enough to say that. Yeah,
that's all right. Where it's a weird way to run this feature at the moment, because there was a part of me when you said that like looked at the clock and was like, so if I just sit here and you get through 26, you would go to bed. But I know that I'm going to be so infuriated that I'll have to... invigorated.
Yes, I get them mixed up all the time.
In the anger sense.
There's a bit of a preamble, and I'll be honest, it's total bullshit. So I'll be skipping it entirely. But suffice it to say...
What could possibly be in that isn't in the 26 lessons?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it were interesting enough to warrant even including it, turn it into a bullet-pointed lesson.
Yeah.
Save it for 27, I've always
Exactly.
said. Number one, there's always someone who needs what you have to offer. Don't hide yourself.
Oh, okay.
So
that sounds
kind of
like a justification for flashing.
I thought so as well. But there's always someone who wants it. So
if you're selling, someone's buying.
if you stand in a big enough park and flash enough other humans,
at least one of them won't arrest you.
This one, number one, ties in quite well to number two, which is do at least one unexpected thing every day.
Oh, I was going to say that the arresting the flasher reminded me of old Owen Jones.
Oh yeah. No, you're not casting any aspersions. You're not saying he's a flasher.
No, not at all. No, but he just did a very good tweet the other day because a guy, as you can imagine, as a left-wing gay man in the media, Owen gets a lot of correspondence, we'll call it, from fans who have been inspired. And he was sharing some of it. And there was this guy, he was sharing loads of his messages, and he was like saying that you'd be too cowardly to share this message and stuff.
Wow,
there was all homophobic and somewhat threatening. But there was an amazing bit where he was saying that his daughter is a journalist and she'd love to interview you, like really love to get to the bottom of it.
Is it?
And then
like a threatening one?
Yeah, and he's like, and then he says, I can citizens arrest you. And Owen just tweeted me like really cracking up at the idea of him hovering at the edge waiting for her to finish the interview so he can arrest me. And is that the last question? You fucking nicked.
I love the concept of citizens arrest because it's a real litmus test for being a fucking idiot. Anyone who thinks that they can, might, would want to, have it morally incumbent upon them to perform a citizen's arrest is automatically such an idiot.
The closest that I have come is just I went up and told the poor staff at Co-op that they're being robbed blind every second of the day.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah,
you were like,
it's just the shop is set up in such a way that the front door is so inaccessible to all of the people working there without a lot of effort. And there's like shelves covering it right up until the door starts effectively. So you can just sneak down the back and then just walk out of the shop immediately.
And people are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, while I was buying, I mean, I felt like a bit of a mug, really.
Yeah.
But while I was fucking paying, I was only paying for the old shopping.
It's not on.
At the self-service. I just watched like 3 different groups just take stuff out. And no one. So I just went up afterwards and I was like,
Hey guys, do you know how a shop works? Because I feel like your heart's not
Have you ever heard the phrase, like a thief in broad daylight?
I almost got robbed by the co-op today because I went.
Right.
My girlfriend wanted hot chocolate at 11:15 at night, and I was going to the shop anyway.
Oh, yes.
And they've got one of these like weird little Costa machines, Costa
Yes.
coffee machines, which is odd because the
Like
next door shop is a Costa.
But like they have Thorpe Park.
Oh yeah, they're proud.
And they're
to
fully
say.
furnished.
Yeah. So it's odd to like make that a selling point of your co-op when I think that Costa shuts at 10 o'clock at night. So there's a 1 hour window where all your Costa's going to have to come from the co-op rather than there. And the machine, have you ever used it?
But I don't drink coffee, so no.
Well, they do hot chocolate, as the name would suggest.
I don't drink that either.
And when you press the button, it plays ambient coffee shop sounds to try but really like, you know, when have you ever had the experience of like in a toy shop or a department store, you press, there'll be like a toy, like a monkey that sings.
Like, try me.
And you like clap to start it, and it's like embarrassingly loud and long.
Yeah.
Well, it was just bellowing like the clinking of glasses and people like, it sounded like they were talking the language that the Sims talk in the background. So they were just like
Simlish,
like
or
making
is it?
up
Yeah.
nonsense sounds. So it did that for about 40 seconds, and then it was like foaming away. It looked very like furious about the whole process. And I took the cup away. I was like, it's very pale hot chocolate today. And I like sniffed
Just
it.
a bit
and
of
it
milk?
was just hot froth milk.
Oh, no.
So
You got done by the hot froth
yeah, and
milk.
I asked, I was like, is this I asked, like, I called a bit of staff, I was going to say.
Just, you fucking bougie
I said-
cunt.
I called a member of the esteemed co-op theft squad over and was like, oh, I think the machine's not working. And she looked at him and was like, yeah, it's hot chocolate. I was like, what do you mean? What colour do you think it
Hot,
should be?
I'll grant you.
And I was like, well, it's just milk. And she was like, yeah, it's white hot chocolate. I was like, it's
There's
not.
no
Don't
such
lie to me
thing.
like this. I saw on the picture that it was not. And then another
What?
guy came over and was like,
It-
"That I'm sorry, that was wrong." He was like very apologetic.
Trying to fob someone off on the idea of
It's
a white
white
hot chocolate.
It's white,
As
yeah,
if
milk.
As if
milk
white hot chocolate is literally just like a bar of frozen milk.
Anyway,
Oh, dear. So do something unexpected. Try and fob someone off with
with
any kind of warm
froth
drink
milk.
of your choice.
pity parties are the worst kind of parties.
I-
Ever been to a worse party than a pity party?
Sorry, I was still on the last point.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say, because I did another TV runner shift, and Jake Humphrey, the presenter,
yeah, we know
I happen
him.
to remember that his order is a flat white.
Okay.
Likes a flat white. So
Poor choice, but we won't hold that against him.
a lot of people at TV
It's very
drink a flat
trendy.
white,
It's a very trendy bougie drink.
So I had ordered him one, and I brought it into the studio for when the game started, and he was off air. And I gave it to him, and as I was walking away, he was like, "Oh, you always remember that, Declan." I was like, "I've got you back." It's not much, but he was like, he then went,
Tearing up.
he then joked and said, "I'm gonna start calling you the flat white guy." And I went, "Well, please don't, because it makes it sound like you're calling me a flat white guy." And he went, "God, it does, doesn't it?" And he went, "Me and my wife, we go breakfast club every Friday morning, because it's the like one morning where they have like a nanny take the kids to school and whatnot."
Okay.
And because he's always traveling up and down the country to present football matches.
Living
and
the high
whatnot.
life.
Yeah. So they always go, and he's like, and she always has the smashed avocado on toast, and we get waited on by the same waiter every time. And he's taken to just very loudly calling her the smashed avocado lady. I was like, that's horrific. That's such an
Just sounds like
accusation.
she's got absolutely off her head at brunch. Bottomless brunch gone wild.
Just like, it's horrible. Like,
Is
that's a horrible.
smashed a term for being drunk everywhere.
I think so,
'Cause
but
it's
I was
a good one.
I was also thinking that it sounds like quite a horrible accusation to make about the nether regions.
Could be as well.
You just don't want that yelled at you in public at 8 a.m. on a
You
Friday.
don't- or indeed at any time on a Friday.
So he was like, so he said that, and I went, yeah. So it sounds like a horrible thing, and he went, yeah, all right, we'll stick with Declan.
Flat white Declan. Number 4. Fear is real, but so is courage. So
Oh well, there you go.
it's
so
just
you
kind
can
of
just
defining some
ignore
things
the
that are real.
one.
number 5 is just something else. That's
Did
real.
are these things that they had learnt by, or that they only learned on
yeah.
the 26th?
You're only allowed to
birthday?
find that out in a greetings card. Ultimate success only happens when you bring others up with you. So
Okay.
that's quite nice, isn't it? That's like the kind
So
of
no kicking the rungs out of the ladder.
No, none of that. Pulling it back up. A stinky sink can be cured with grating a lemon down the disposal.
Where's this one come from?
P.S. Fear is real.
Why is that in the list?
I hate this style of listicle where they like chuck in something quirky, where it's like
Oh, is that what it was?
it's a bit like, but I actually entirely forgive because I think it's otherwise a very high quality bit of writing. The wear sunscreen piece that was then made into that song. You know that one?
No.
Oh, really? It's quite famous. It was like an American, I think she's from New York, journalist who wrote a piece about like what you would say to your own graduating year.
Right.
And it's all this advice that's like, it's actually very good advice, but it starts and ends with wearing sunscreen.
Right.
But then it becomes things like very, philosophical. There's stuff about like worrying is like trying to solve algebra by chewing bubble gum. All these mad, it's very pithy.
Yeah, right.
But in that one, the sunscreen works because it's like a very essential, fundamental, and it's like a boring springboard.
Yeah.
Whereas I think going from courage is real
So is fear.
to your sink stinks is like a misunderstanding of that device.
Yeah, it feels very much like that pamphlet that Ricky Gervais reads about alternatives to coming inside your partner.
It's a religious thing, isn't it?
Where like the 7th one, no, I think it was about avoiding AIDS.
Oh, really? What,
Yeah.
from back in the day?
Yeah, and one of them was like the last one on the list is like just come out of a window, and he's like, "That's so like
the
we've got
maddest.
6, we need a 7th, it's got to go to print." Like
Just look around the room like, well, the war would be
there was
done.
like come into a piece of fruit, like it's just the
Really
worst.
unfortunate. Number 7, walk with a purpose. It makes people wonder what you're up to.
Well, that sounds like bad advice.
Certainly
The last thing I want is
Generate
people-
suspicion where possible in your 26th year on God's big earth.
The guiltiest year.
That's what they call it. Your body is the house of your spirit. Take care of it.
The spirit or the house,
Yeah.
one via the other.
Both. Not holding yourself
Is that
accountable.
not just nicking, like, the body as a temple?
No, it's much better and cleverer.
Oh, is that why it
That's
used
why I
more
came in at
words?
number 8 and didn't sound as good.
What's the... Don't be throwing that away. You might be needing it later.
Not holding yourself accountable and making excuses is the key to failure.
Oh,
So key sounds positive. It's like,
and
oh,
you're
what's it
like,
the key
I do
to?
that all the time.
Right, to failure.
Fuck.
Pull
No
the rug out
wonder.
from under my eyes. Doesn't mean anything.
Stop that.
A good marriage not only exists, but is possible to create when, and this is a big when, 2 people are willing. Not one person, not 5 persons, that's 2.
And they both, you're saying, have to be willing.
Yeah, for some reason, the way that's phrased, I just know that this person would define marriage as, well, it only really exists between a man and a woman. Like, there's something about this list that I know they're
it's a very
homophobe.
homophobic list, yeah.
They've not said anything to that
No.
effect, but it's the kind of like...
No, they have, because the whole walk like you want people to know what you're up to is the most privileged like stance you could say.
Walk like you're on your way
No.
to suppress the Stonewall riots.
Like no black person has ever written a list where they said walk in a way that makes people wonder what you're up to, because
That's a very good point.
because the
'Cause
police
that way
are already
lies,
doing that
at
for
best,
you.
Stop and search.
Yeah.
And at worst,
Possibly just
killed.
being shot.
Your strength is found in the moment when you feel like you have none. and yet you still keep fighting. Again, and not a very white bit of advice.
No, yeah.
On the whole, true love and falling in. This is quite a complex one. Maybe you've got an insight on it.
Okay.
True love
and
falling in love with the idea of love are two completely different things.
Okay.
So that's obviously very important to know this year for me.
Oh yeah.
Because when you turn 26, you need to start being more kind of confused about love as a concept. You have to start thinking about settling down.
You're reaching the point where you're the last person in the rom-com to be settled down,
Are
aren't
you fucking with me?
All your
about
friends,
What? None of my friends are.
all your friends are getting married. No, I'm not saying you personally right now. I'm saying, but
if I were a
once you
character.
reach 26,
I tell you what, watching
'cause
Friends.
that's how old they are, isn't it? When they start 26.
Who in Friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But in season 3, where I was watching recently, they're like 29, and their lives are a
so
mess.
they're 26
And it doesn't
in
matter
season
that
1.
they're fictional, because I'm using that as a template for my life in as many respects as possible.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
So technically, they were 36 by the time any of them.
Monica and Chandler got married in their 60s.
Yeah.
And that's canon.
that is.
You can take that to the bank.
Joey was clinically stupid all the way through, and he did just fine.
He was great. He was a
couldn't act for
Roman at
shit.
once. He was tweezing himself in the pocket
He was
hole.
a detective with that robot.
Very
That's a goal of yours.
I think
is it
one
not?
of the greatest jokes in Friends is the fact that he's in that play. This is probably very dull if you haven't seen Friends, but just try and picture this. There's throughout a whole series, basically, he's in this play that we only ever see snippets of, and where most of the comedy is coming from this very stereotypically serious director who just wants them to act. He's like, what are you doing? He wants to like feel the raw emotion. And most of the plot around the play, around this whole subplot, is that Joey is in love with his co-star who's married to that director. And then in the final, like almost the final episode of the entire series, she is leaving to go to a job in LA, and we finally see the end of the play where he says, so I'm going to get on this spaceship and I'm going to go to what is like
Zargon 4 in search of alternative fuels.
This big
But
ladder
it's just
drops
because
down.
the scene, like the set is
So
just
funny. Perfectly natural.
It's just a living room.
Yeah, like household
It's like
drama.
proper like John Osborne boiler pot.
Yeah,
like,
and all
play.
they're like, she's a really serious actor. It's so well set up.
and then just you hear
dry
ladder
ice
comes
and
down.
lights.
We're-
It's very
My
good.
brother and I were talking the other day about the fact that the best line of Joey's is when Chandler's girlfriend is in the play where she has to have sex, and he's like really worried about it. So Joey tells him that if he goes to the show and the sex looks great, then it means they're not fucking in real life. And if he goes and it looks bad, then they are. And he goes along and he comes home really happy. And they're like, so? And he's like, oh, best sex I've ever seen. Like, oh my God, it was passionate, it was steamy. And then the next night he goes and it was terrible. And he comes back to the like flat and he says that, you know, he's broken up with her, like she's clearly cheating. And they're all like, what? Why? And he's like, Joey said that means that they're, you know, doing it in real life. And Joey turns around and goes, whoa. That was just a theory. A lot of theories turn out to be incorrect. The Long Gunman, communism, geometry.
Theory of John.
It's such an amazing, like it gives away nothing about what like
He thinks it is.
what's his contact
What's he
with
heard?
geometry? What did he read?
What was his jumping on
What did he
point?
overhear on the train that he has heard about this idea of the theory
That
of
it's been disproved.
yeah.
It's very good. It's very good written show for sure. People will talk to you how you let them. Respect yourself. That one's about really asserting dominance wherever possible.
Okay.
Team efforts accomplish way more than doing things alone every single time. That's another kind of very simple bit of
Okay.
advice.
Yeah.
When people mock, tease, or talk bad about you, it's 99.9% of the time out of jealousy. Try to love them
jealously.
Try to love them anyways. Maybe you're the only person who ever has.
Oh,
It's a bit sassy at the end.
that's like that line I sent you earlier. I was watching an esports tournament, and a guy who was like quite new to the scene won this whole tournament. And literally, as they're all waving goodbye to the camera, and the guy's like holding his medal, one of the hosts went, And, just goes to prove that literally anybody could win one of these
Anyone off the
things.
streets, dressed like a total tramp.
Just what you'd want to hear.
Yeah, as you're waving away.
As you're, definitely a socially inept, spotty little... Oh, bless him.
Bless
He
him.
did well.
Did he win any pennies for it?
I think he won some pennies. I think he won the chance to win some
Oh,
pennies.
that's even worse. Very nice to hear. Number 16, you can't do everything. You weren't made to do everything.
I wasn't.
Recognising that will liberate your life, has it?
What, just now?
Yep. Go on, think
Yeah.
about it.
Perfect.
That's
I'm happy
done.
now.
That's
Yeah.
really good. Sondheim? Yeah, he's loving it as well. Sometimes he's not very emotive.
What wasn't he born to do?
Wow. Looking at this cutout, I'm going to go with modelling.
Sing falsetto.
Yeah, that as well. That's like the deepest voice it's possible to have.
Having a straight tie.
Yeah, he's not put a lot of effort into the tie, Steve. It's a little bit askew. It's really letting the ensemble down. Almost as much as the short, fat legs.
It was nice of him to do this because of the perspective of the feet. It looks like he's doing a weird sort of hover.
It's quite
above
good, yeah,
the
like
ground.
he's hovering
Yeah,
towards you.
little Dementor.
Number 17. It's quite similar to 16. You're not perfect. You will make mistakes. So will the people you love. Forgive them, and don't forget to forgive yourself. That's new advice.
I'm hoping. What number was that?
17.
Okay. Oh God, we're near the end already.
Yeah. Well, it's because the advice is so good and free flowing.
I would the only way I could have a modicum of respect for this list is if like that kind of sass and that, you're not perfect thing just like devolved, and by 26 it's like, yeah, shit.
This is going to be a bad year for you. Number 18, and I think you'll be pleased. Be aware of seemingly friendly lions.
Seemingly friendly lions.
Yeah, SFLs.
They
It's funny, isn't it?
there was a thing there where they thought they'd latched onto an image, but what they'd done
Yes.
was not
not
they'd
that.
not latched onto an image.
I hate it when you think you've done something, but you've
And then-
not.
Yeah,
You've
is
just
that on the
not done
list?
it.
I hate it when you think.
no.
I suppose it's not necessarily a lesson.
It's just a rant. It's a very simplistic ramble. Stuff is just ... italics stuff. 2 years from now, your $250 designer bag, you know the one, isn't going to be trendy anymore. Don't get caught up trying to keep up. Your craving will never be satisfied.
Don't own anything.
Yeah,
is what they mean.
It's asceticism from now until the end.
Was this taken directly from the Unabomber manifesto?
Almost word for word, actually.
He said, "Fear is real, so's courage, and if you've got a stinky sink,
He also
chuck a lemon."
said, most of the coolest people have ever met, have absolutely nothing by world standards, but they have more than most people I've met who have everything by world standards. Treasure what's important.
It's good when, like you say, pithy. Keep it succinct.
Yeah.
You want a phrase that sticks. I was doing this with a kid that I tutor, talking to him about creative writing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was saying that you don't want to be overly simplistic, obviously, when you write. But one of the big mistakes that a lot of kids make is they overcomplicate, and because they've never read a fucking book in their lives, they think that to write welleth is to speak with the longest worders. And we took an example, and I was like, what's a line from a film that stuck with you? And he went, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I was like, perfect.
Good choice.
And then we wrote it really short and crap, and then overly long.
Die good, live bad.
Pardon?
Die good, live
We were
bad.
like, oh, you're either good or
get
you
this.
become bad. And then it was like, whilst it's true that one may, with the courage of time and the fortitude of life, remain a hero to those around you.
And you're saying this person found the balance.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
no. Sorry.
But the phrase like the world standard, that's common parlance. That's like latching onto an idea. Because not a day goes by that we don't talk about, it's classic compared to the world standard. Like we've got more Sondheim cutouts than average.
No, it's this thing of deciding, obviously good writing should try to avoid idiom too much. unless that's a kind of conscious effort to include it for some sort of statement or whatnot. But people also tend to think that that means you can't ever use a phrase that people would recognize, or else you're not a good writer.
Not original.
Hence, don't be tempted by seemingly friendly lions. It's just like, well, can't say wolf in sheep's clothing. So what's similar? Sort of smiling
Amicable dog man.
Be aware of amicable dog men.
I was tutoring on the day before my birthday. The kid who's like the smartest one of the ones I tutor at the moment. He's like 7 or 8 or something. And we were doing an exercise on characterization. Classic kind of in my cycle of lessons that is increasingly small.
Oh yeah.
Like increasingly well prepared.
Yeah.
Just through the passage of repetition.
I've got hours on 2 subjects.
Really, really handy. And we were writing a thing about like, come up with a scene outline, really simple set of events, 3 events, like a beginning, a middle and an end. And then we're going to look at how we can imbue those very boring events with character and then do the opposite of that. So he came up with these 3 events that were like, Barry is going to the shops. On the way, he remembers he's actually already got the milk he was going to get.
Right.
He goes home, finds out he didn't have the milk.
Barry!
So the first one was Barry as a villain. In fact, I might read this because it's very strange. He wrote, as Barry woke up, he put down the mine to blow up the house he had taken over. He had murdered its previous occupants last night. After he had set
Slept
the timer,
there and then bombed it.
after he had set the timer, he walked out with the smell of smoke beside him. He walked to the supermarket of evil, humming the Despicable Me theme tune.
The Despicable Me.
He was going to buy
like
milk.
the evilest man of all.
He was going to buy milk, but he realised that he'd already bought it. That did not matter because he noticed something that was so hard to spot that he should get an award.
That's an amazing simile.
There was a crowd of people running towards him, some on fire. The flames from the exploded house had engulfed the supermarket, and people on fire were fleeing
He'd
from
only
the
blown up
red-hot
the milk,
ashes.
hadn't he?
He smiled. And then we were going to do Barry as a hero. He was a bit less interested because obviously it's less like visually inspiring.
Yeah.
Can't blow stuff up. And he was just like sitting. We're having to do lessons in his room at the moment because like the kitchen's being redone.
Right.
So he was like sitting on his bed, like looking, just sort of gazing up, like, well, how can we make him walking to the shops? Like, how can he be a hero doing that? And I was like, well, I don't know. There are loads of ways. Maybe he could stop to help an old woman across the road or something. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess. And he thought about this for about 10 seconds, but like fingers poised to type. And he's like, can I ask you something? I was like, yeah, what is it? What would you want to know? He was like, well, why are all these old women needing help crossing the road? I was like, well, first of all, what do you mean? And second of all, like it's, I don't know, like it's just one of those things. It's one of those
just an
tropes.
image, yeah.
It's one of those images. And he was like, yeah, okay, I suppose. And then he thought about this for a while and came out with a quote that was so innocently horrible and off the cuff that I wrote it down. He said he was just sort of thinking about this image. It must have like, something about it must have really like, not upset, but just like unsettled him. The idea of needing help to cross a road, I think. Because he sat there and then he said, when you're very old, it's a lot like when you're very little. I was like, okay. He said, you drool a lot. You don't know anything. You don't make memories. You're absolutely useless. And I just burst out laughing.
You told him that you'd had a birthday.
It was so good. It was such an amazing, because he wasn't saying it like meanly.
Absolutely.
He was just like, yeah, you're absolutely useless. It was just the innocence of the observation.
I'd set this kid a task, an analysis task today, and his homework from last week had been to plan these paragraphs out. And one of the main problems that I'm having with him is just his opening sentence to any paragraph. Mm-hmm. The content afterwards is steadily like getting better and better and seeing improvement. But the first line of every paragraph is always shit.
Yes.
Either because it just repeats the question for 3 lines, or because it's far too vague. And for some reason, there's no wiggle room on this. It will always be this way. So I told him that you should identify when the question says, talk about language and structure. You should identify at the beginning of the paragraph which one you're talking about. So the examiner knows that you know.
That they can just tick it off and not bother to read
Give
the
a
rest.
little tick. They know that. Okay. But one of his paragraphs today started with the line, one of the ways in which Harrison implies a sense of hope in the poem The Bright Lights of Sarajevo is through use of language. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like,
One of the
hard
ways.
to write
What are the others?
hard to write a poem without it, isn't it? Like, I know what you mean. He has, but then it said by use of language, comma, like, for example, the title, The Bright Lights of Sarajevo. And I was like, yes, but you could have said, for example, and then any random selection of words from the poem.
This undeniably is language. Therefore, I
And it
am
has
right
been used.
by default.
There is hope.
Quite clever to make an argument that is utterly unfalsifiable.
Yeah.
And just stands alone. Some wisdom for you, because we were straying dangerously away and we were almost wrapped up with the wisdom. We're in the 20s now. When you learn more about others, you learn more about yourself.
Oh, okay.
And that's hard to argue with.
Yeah,
Because the more I meet
it's-
people, the better I feel about myself.
Yeah.
Every single day. 22. Slow down. Take time to enjoy what's happening right now. In this very moment in your life. In a second, that moment will be over. You will never be happy if you're always looking ahead for the next thing coming.
That feels like a desperate plea for you to enjoy the article.
Maybe start the article again.
Right, enjoy
Number
this.
23.
Don't be
Share
looking.
good articles on Reddit.
Don't be looking. Don't be looking forward to finishing the article.
24. Don't criticise and analyse the written word much.
25. The blog is the pinnacle of the written experience.
26. This blog. My mistake.
27. So there, Mom.
You will never know, number 23, if you need to meet the person behind you at the grocery store if you don't take a minute to talk to them. Paths cross for a reason. It's up to you to notice and act on it.
I'm going
This is
to.
the stupidest advice.
I'm going to turn around the next time I'm in a queue. I'm
I
going
need to
talk.
meet
I'm
you.
going to talk to someone for a minute, and then I'm going to go. I don't need to meet. I don't need to meet you.
just pull out like a very large need to meet question mark. No. Reason poor, ugly,
Dull.
3 for 3.
Buying coconut.
Very sad. Number
Imagine saying to someone, "I don't need,
don't
to,
need to
meet
meet
you."
I mean, we did meet, but I don't need
But I
to
didn't.
do it
I
again.
didn't have to, and I'm going to stop it right now.
Paths crossed for a reason, and it was to show me that this needn't happen
yeah.
again in future. Number 24. Bad things happen to good people. This cannot be changed. What can be changed is the attitude in which, interesting preposition, you face and conquer the trial at hand. That's probably spurred you on, has it? That's got you feeling like you can grab life by the horns, ride the big bull of existence
the thing is
into
that-
the china shop of tomorrow.
Is that anyone reading that, even if they were a bad person, could look at that and go, "Oh, bad things happen to me.
Yeah.
So I must be good.
I'm good people.
I'm good people." And
Yeah.
so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to ignore all that.
Fair. Number 25, penultimate wisdom here. So you know this is going to be like, we're setting it up for a home run, of course. And then there's a call to action at the end that we'll come to, just to tie a bow around the whole nugget of delight. Stop. 25, creating brings fullness and joy. Create art, words, smiles, good feelings. Take what you're good at and use your talents to create things that the world would otherwise not have. That's why you are here. Because you can do something that no one else can.
Well, do you know what it is?
It's this episode.
Is it this?
It's me spreading. No one else could have read this list. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
No
Not
one
the way
else
I've done.
has.
No one else in the whole world.
I mean, we've spoken a lot about this type of horse shit before. You're right.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was just had a
Okay, cool.
frog in my throat.
And it's very much like the Lin-Manuel tweets in that it doesn't say anything. It doesn't help anyone.
Oh, what about people who are looking to create words or smiles?
Well, I've found that often they're the ones that need the encouraging the least.
Because they're going to do it anyway.
They're going to do it anyway, even if they're very
even
bad.
if you ask them to stop,
Yeah,
they'll
beg,
keep creating
plead.
words, probably slam
That, like,
poetry.
people who want to create these things will fall into one of the two camps of either wants to but can't be bothered / is too cynical for this to affect, or is way too confident in their own abilities anyway and is gonna do it whether they should or not.
Yeah, I guess it's probably difficult to pitch advice.
What's the mindset? What's the psyche of someone to whom that affected a change that wasn't there before?
Like a
because
good
I know,
faith reader of this whole list.
yeah, like,
each of these,
because
like, yeah,
but
wow.
this one I think in particular because it captures something of all of them, that it's platitudinous, it's meaningless, it's vapid, it's gone beyond cliche to be something entirely different.
Yeah, but think how nice it must be to be that person who reads that.
But
create
what
art
I'm saying
and
is
is
that
like-
there isn't anyone.
No, but I'm sure there must
But there's
be.
not. What is the mind? Because, like I say, either there'll be people who share that and say that it's inspired them, but those people were already in the camp of, I was going to do this anyway. So, but it's it's vogue to look as though you're inspired by.
So you're saying no one has been like life altered by this
Not
kind
a
of
single
advice?
person. Never, ever.
Maybe. There must be like a subgenre of person who does share inspirational stuff and believe it as well.
Maybe.
Even if they're not acting on it, they must be like, fuck, that's amazing. I can create art. I can have fullness and joy together at last.
But what I'm saying is that in order to be receptive to that, you on some level had to kind of know or believe that already, I think. I don't think no one has ever read that and gone, fuck, I can.
Wow, this is new information.
Wow, brilliant.
It'd be great if you could meet someone for whom that was the case, because that person would be like the most wide-eyed. just
I'd
total
immediately
mad.
send them a blog that I had written that was like, give someone you just met 50 quid.
Why are you lowballing yourself? 50.
Look,
wanna be realistic.
they're gullible, but
Yeah, they're creating fullness and joy. so-
write over the deed to your house.
And number 26, possibly the most pertinent. And I'm offering this as it has been offered to me in the spirit of passing down. They say that the only thing that an old garden boy can do is plant a tree for tomorrow's lad. You know that saying? I think that's exactly how it goes. Society flourishes when you plant a big tree for tomorrow's shady boys.
Isn't that the exact excuse that the IDF uses as to why they're the world's most moral army?
And for now, it's the excuse we'll be using to palm off this wisdom onto you,
okay.
because you're tomorrow's 26-year-old.
Oh, brilliant.
Not
yeah.
literally, because
No.
it's not your birthday tomorrow, as far as I'm aware.
No, and I'm a year behind that anyway.
So what I'm saying is hold on to this one.
I think if I woke up tomorrow and it was my 26th birthday, that would be the final straw, I'm
And
afraid.
sometime is embedded with you. Cut out sometime.
Oh, no.
So when you turn 26, you're going to have a flash of memory, because
God, imagine if you found out that me and the real Sondheim were lovers.
that would be amazing. I'd be happy for you.
No, because
I'd be furious.
the reason that you're only just finding out is that he
Doesn't want me to know.
doesn't
Doesn't
like
think it
you.
works. I've observed this foolish little man.
He stumbled upon the podcast.
Oh no!
And he was-
Heard what I said about Dick Van Dyke, who I love. Okay, fuck's sake.
And sorry, is that Dick Van Dyke or was that Richard Van
Yeah.
non-binary gender
Yeah,
fluid?
no thanks, Piers. It was the
Because
second one.
you can't. Yeah, this boy's PC.
Search Twitter
I
for
was listening
context.
to a fucking football phone-in show
Mm-hmm.
earlier. It's my new Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening ritual when I drive home from tutoring. It's because they're so fun. It's literally people ringing up to antagonise the hosts and the hosts doing everything they can to antagonise the people who are ringing in, and then ending it with a swift, thanks very much for your call there, Bob. But there was a guy who rang in today because there was some controversy. in the Liverpool-Everton, the Merseyside derby, in that it was won in the 96th minute of 94 by Liverpool. And their manager, Jurgen Klopp, ran onto the pitch to celebrate with his goalkeeper, which is you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to step onto the pitch as the manager. And all the hosts had said was, yes, as a fan, and yes, as like players in the Merseyside derby, you can say it's a special game. You know, the rules, like, you know, nobody minded, like, it's the spirit of it.
Yeah.
But they were like, but you also can't just randomly decide that this game, the rules don't apply. And then all managers are going to start doing this. And some guy rang in and he wanted to complain about it. And I knew it was coming. And it took 15 seconds. And he went, "You snowflakes! I tell you, you're snowflakes."
They were triggered.
And he was, and all you people in the media, you're snowflakes. And one of the guys was like, I can't be that much of a media person. I literally don't know what you mean. What's a snowflake? You're snowflake.
You melt easily.
One of the people on the phone-in show was Robbie Savage, a man whose approach to the game was described by his surname.
Yeah.
And the guy calling in had the audacity to say, and it is a function of the conservative mindset, of the gammon mindset, that these things all fall under the same like tree.
Yeah.
Is that you're health and safety gone mad sorts of people. Robbie Savage just went, health and safety gone mad. Have you seen my career?
I saw him headbutt a man's tooth out, I'm pretty sure.
It's just mad.
It wasn't even a game.
Like snowflakes, all these snowflakes. And they were like, thanks very much for your call there, Martin.
Snowflakes. Snowflakes.
We've spoken about it before again on this show, but
we're snowflakes ourselves.
Well, yeah, so that's why we keep bringing it up.
Probably have this opinion.
But the certainty from that perspective that snowflake is an insult that hurts
with teeth.
Us. That it's
imagine a snowflake with teeth. Imagine if it was snowing and you went outside and these great big chomping snowflakes,
like those comedy
That'd
snapping.
Be freakish.
But yeah, that you say that and we're like gutted.
Oh no! How did you
He outed me as the snowflake,
the weakest precipitation of all?
You're right. I do approve of health and safety.
And then you just dissipate into mist.
Well, into liberal tears.
Well, sorry, that's my shorthand for liberal tears. Yeah, sorry, Steve.
That liberal mist only happens if you've really been burned.
Yeah, oh, nice. There's 5 minutes of that, for sure.
So.
Number 26. Life is to discover and reach your full potential. Follow your heart and don't fight the stirrings. Unexpected. Sorry, that sentence just ends quite abruptly.
Oh, the stirrings.
Don't fight the stirrings.
It does
Unexpected paths create the greatest rewards. Shine.
Stirrings wasn't the end of that sentence.
Don't fight the stirrings.
No,
don't fight.
It's not.
Don't fight the stirrings.
Don't fight the stirrings. It sounds like a comedy about like warring neighbours. Don't fight the stirrings.
You're out there fighting the stirrings again. No, Marge.
They were society highlights. They just moved in.
I love this show so much. The name's Mr. and Mrs. Stirring. Oh no! I can picture every character in this show
exactly,
so and it's very good.
There's something I've always thought about this. Again, platitude that life is for reaching your full potential. Okay, and what it must mean is one of two things.
Stillborn babies.
And neither of them is very inspiring. Okay, is that number one is that the best you can ever be is when you're at your oldest point.
And anyone who's ever met one of, to quote my student, the totally useless, drooling, you don't know anything.
Drooling, no memories. Can't even cross the fucking road.
Without Barry's help.
That if that's the pinnacle of who you can be,
then God help us
that's sad
all.
as hell. Or what it means is that at some point you reach your full potential,
then-
but then it's all downhill from there.
I think that one's probably true, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but my point is that
Neither's very
neither's very
neither's
inspiring.
the kind of
really.
thing to tell someone on their 26th
No,
birthday.
neither's very inspiring if you think about it for even 1 second, which is why these are for people who don't.
Who think about it for less than that.
Prosecco o'clock.
It's the kind of person who,
Wouldn't fight the stirrings, that's for sure.
as if, who would? The article ends
She's
with,
got a mean right hook. Mrs. Stirring. Mama Stirring.
she was in the Gulf War. Please share your most treasured life lesson below. And tell me about your act of kindness that you complete on the 28th. That's because to celebrate the author's birthday on the 26th, I think, they wanted
26 on the 26th.
they wanted a couple of people to go out and do acts of kindness.
Oh, right.
So let me just read you some of the ones in the... oh no, there are none. Not a single person did a kindness. Not a single person had a life lesson to share.
Can you still comment?
You can, and I was going to say we should draft
comment
some.
saying that what the kindness we've done is have even one person read this.
Yeah, we've platformed this article
Yeah.
in a big way. That is kind, and I think that's the
And a
kind
little
of
link
fullness
to the
and
show, you
joy
mean?
that... Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good idea as well. So there we have it. It's a lot of wisdom to engage with, a lot of wisdom to inhale into your great big truth lungs. But that's the kind of people we are. We've got an email, and I'm going to read it out in full. I'll just preface it by saying that it's going to sound quite self-aggrandizing for me to read it because it's mostly about me.
Okay.
Praise for Sir Isaac.
Well, shall I read it?
No.
Let me read
I don't
it.
think it will come
Come
across
on.
as good.
Just let me read it, fuck's sake.
Okay.
Come on.
Here it is. I've
Can't
handed
have
over
you
the
read
laptop.
your own praise mail.
I love praise mail. It's a new feature.
Task message, praise for Sir Isaac of the Shames.
Doesn't Sir Isaac have such good ring to it?
It's from Lord Yeti of Shyness as well.
I thought so.
Dear Isaac and Declan.
That's you as well included.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
actually,
pity
I-
inclusion.
I don't get a title,
Oh, well, you wouldn't.
but or indeed
Any
much
content.
praise, but you know, what can you do?
I'm sure when your birthday comes winging its way into our
Oh,
lives.
I'm expecting a book.
What cutout are you going to be getting?
I don't know, but it shan't be so horrid as this. Dear Isaac and Declan, I would like to wish Isaac a very happy birthday for the 1st of December.
Woo!
As we all know, quote, with age comes wisdom. I can vouch for this, being pretty elderly myself. Absolutely useless in all.
Got no memories.
Anyway, this officially means that Isaac is the wisest podcaster of the two of you. It seems to be implying that you weren't until now. We've been the
it's just
same
that It wasn't
age.
definitive.
Oh, I see. Sorry. I believe that it's probably time for Isaac, or Sir Isaac of the Shames, as I like to think of him, to receive his first Lifetime Achievement Award. Up to 4 are allowed over a lifetime.
Is that true? That's good knowledge.
I
Well,
like the idea that you're receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award, again implying that it's probably all downhill from here.
No, because you said I can get another 3.
Yeah, but people...
I'm going to scatter them
No,
every...
that's a pity thing that he said, just to throw you off the scent.
That is sad then.
You know, because whenever you watch the award shows, the people who win the Lifetime Achievement Awards, that's it then.
Some of them are often actually dead.
Yeah.
Like they're posthumous. So that's a shame.
There's a great moment in 30 Rock where they're at a little awards ceremony and they've got the like, here's the people who died this year in the industry. It's like for the Teen Choice Awards or something. And they're going through the list and it's just a couple of, and then one of the stars is like Pom Pom the bear. And it's just like this little cartoon bear, like, oh, and everyone's, oh, and then the next one is this like old man, and it's Edward Weisenberg, creator, primary artist, and writer of Pom Pom the bear, and there's just silence.
No one gives a fuck.
No one cares. So don't worry, Declan. Paul says. You two will soon be both older and wiser.
But
Every
not
day.
than me.
No.
Just than you are.
But for now, you must curtsy to the greater intellect.
Yeah, can you-
i.e. Isaac. No,
That is.
thank you.
Sorry, no, just don't want to interrupt, but there was a kind of imperative there, so if you want to do the quick curtsy.
Yeah, I'm just going to finish the email first.
Okay, and then we'll
we'll
get the curtsy going.
Thank you. That's with a full stop afterwards as well. Like it's a, yes, you'll have to curtsy now. Thank you. Yours sincerely, Lord Yeti of shyness.
Wow.
P.S. Crisps are a poor second choice to cake, brackets, which, coincidentally, I believe is another of the key, and then this is a hyphenated phrase, Isaac beliefs.
Isaac beliefs. I
you
like this
gonna be-
concept.
yeah?
Yeah, I might be publishing a pamphlet.
Any
Potentially
day
written
now.
on actual skin.
So yeah, that's based on a small conversation that...
Where
did we
would that have
that
taken place?
Where would we have
It would
had
have to be
this?
somewhere pretty hip. It would have to be somewhere that
pretty
facilitated
happening.
all kinds of culinary chat. It would have to be shame.city/Discord. It's the place to see and be seen. The place to live and let live.
The place to share and to threaten.
Yeah. To have and to hold.
The place to participate and to loiter.
It's a place of fullness and joy.
To send gifts.
Oh, God.
To share shames.
We've got mandatory festivity has just been enforced on the server. It's been called out by those on high. I don't know if you saw the announcement. So
No,
everyone's
I
only,
haven't seen.
everyone on the Discord's only got 48 hours, even less now, to change their name to something festive.
Right, oh, okay.
Or
I'll
they-
just get on that.
They'll be sent to the Bad Grotto.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah, and we all know what happens there.
Now, I do just want to bring up very briefly
Uh-huh.
something that I know has hurt you.
Okay.
Because you did do a little... I'm not going to call it desperate.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to call it sad plea
Right.
in the old Discord for a review
Oh, for reviews
for
of the
your
show.
birthday.
Let me show you something, Declan.
and
Have a
and did
read
we
of this.
did we get a little review?
Well,
Did you get you got your monthly email?
I did get the email. Let me just see where it is. I actually got an email first that said, struggling with your blog. And then I opened the email. It was empty. So I think it was...
Tough
I
luck,
pawned.
bozo. Mine's going great.
We don't even have a blog, so I
No.
don't know why they would think to send that personalised email just to me. If I search for reviews, then hopefully you will see what there is to see.
I'm so hyped.
My podcast reviews. Hi, Isaac, says Daniel. Thank you for trying my podcast reviews. Here's your digest of last month's. So this is November's podcast reviews.
Yeah.
And I think, just to kind of get this in on the ground floor.
All right.
There's probably been some ambiguity, some confusion about, because my birthday's in December, people are probably like, oh, well, you don't give a present in November.
No.
You give the review present.
No, yeah.
in
But you'd
December.
order it, so it
Yeah, you'd do the legwork. You'd probably,
Yeah.
in terms of how we're translating the physical gift giving to the review,
Okay.
you'd be thinking about the form, some of the metaphors you're going to employ, some of the synonyms of just beautiful that you're going to use to describe me and my prose.
and have, yeah.
Here's your digest of last month's podcast reviews for That's a Shame, : no latest reviews.
Oh no!
And then it asks if I want to upgrade my subscription to $55 a year, to which I blocked Daniel and his treacherous bullshit from my inbox.
If you
want to find out
if you
in high
if you
definition
upgrade,
how
they
many-
write you a letter.
Imagine if they do.
They
do
send
like
someone
that.
to your door, like to say no new reviews.
They should leave an automatic 5-star review that's like, haven't listened to the show, but a valued subscriber to my service where every month
Their review
I
is
reliably
just,
inform.
it's just gave me 55 quid.
Lol. So, look, I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. I am apathetic, but in that kind of crushing way that life will bring to those in the hardest of times. I expected better, I suppose. And at the same time, that expectation was tempered because I know communities are...
That the listenership are a lazy bunch.
Well, what I was going to say is communities are often reflections of their leadership. And though we aim for a flat hierarchy, me, you and Steve,
Yep.
this triangle of equality, each of us representing in turn fraternity, liberty,
Being white men.
All of us very privileged. I mean, Steve's done the best so far, but let's see how that holds out. What we've aimed for is that kind of, everyone's a leader of Shame City. Anyone can take the steering wheel. But ourselves, I mean, recording this episode very, very late, people might get the idea that we're not as efficient, we're not as true to our word and big on the follow through, and that they in turn might not take the whole reviewing thing seriously. But I'm here to say, that if you don't, by the end of 2018,
Steve will be coming to your door.
a burning Sondheim effigy will be launched.
Leaning so far forward. Never before have you seen such a top-heavy
layers.
recreation.
Such a big
the living
anti-Weeble.
So unfathomably torso.
So yeah, give us a review for the love of God. And that's all. Like, it's got to be 5 stars. You owe me
Friends, I say this from the bottom of my heart. And really, this is a moment of vulnerability. It's been a bad fucking week. Give us, please.
I mean,
Please.
we don't want to be desperate or anything, but I'll beg on camera.
Please give us this one thing.
Shall we just come up with a random incentive? Like, the next person who leaves a good review, I will come to your house. I will,
or let you fucking.
or we'll give you a half-hour advice session about any topic of your need.
Wow!
What I'm
People
specifically
will
thinking
be
is, I want to
bit.
like set up their OkCupid profile or something like that.
Right? Is
Yeah.
that what you presume the listenership needs of us?
Why not? Someone might. Or, you know, if you need someone to proofread something, or if you need someone to call up, like, your boss and tell them to fuck off.
I will
tell them to leave a
gladly.
review. Yeah, Declan's got a lot of rage to get
I
out.
have a lot to just get out.
So
of this
we're for
body
hire.
of mine.
We're down on our knees in
If
grovel.
you leave us a review, I will do anything.
There are so few shows brave enough to make that kind of pledge.
As long as
it's
it doesn't
not
require
illegal.
any money, I will do it.
Yeah, okay. Like, hold us to it. We'll see what we can do. It's on you. Like, come up with something.
But yeah,
Shame.city/review.
for me,
It's the next one. It has to be before the end of the year. I'm not fucking with any of these like monkey paw loopholes.
No.
I'm the ultimate arbiter. I'll obviously defer to Steve
Well,
because that's the nature of our partnership. Always has been, always will be.
I think we should send Steve's stony gaze into negotiations for us.
Oh,
I imagine like it would be an amazing. It would definitely be a TIL in about 100 years if if we ever did anything with our lives. If we actually brought this along to every negotiation and just stood here
it's such a
behind
power
us.
play.
Yeah.
We'd have to rewrite the art of the deal, and the whole book would just be that.
It'd just be pictures of us in
Steve at,
meetings,
meeting Bill Gates.
looking back up at him,
Showing him a pamphlet,
yeah.
like, oh, what do you think of that one?
Yeah.
That'd be very good.
Us like with our like collars and undone, ties like loose and sleeves rolled up, sweating a little bit.
And then one of them
Steve
will be
just
like,
sort of leaning forwards onto the chair.
one of them wear like party hats after some successful thing.
Yeah.
And, like, Steve's just standing there stony faced with like some
a feather
confetti
boa around him.
draped.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book. I can't wait for it. So shame.city/review, or just open iTunes for fuck's sake.
Or
It's not hard.
shame.city/reviews.
Yeah, there's
you know
so
what?
many ways.
I will settle for if you just like texted it to us.
If you email me your iTunes account details, I'll write it.
if you just send us an email that says you're doing a good job.
Yeah, Declan needs
That will
now.
make
Get him
my
through the winter. Well, maybe not the whole
I'm
winter.
drooling. I'm absolutely useless.
It's like the winter fuel
no
allowance.
new memories.
Other than that, we've got tass@shame.city is the place to send in your emails, or you can go to shame.city. There's a contact form on there. We've also got Twitter, don't we?
Yeah,
All
that's
sorts
a
of good
shame
stuff.
cast.
There'll be pictures of Sondheim out and about. Not the real one. Well,
Well,
the real one to us
Yeah.
now. This is as close as we'll get. Oh my God, I'm going to see Company. Do you think I could take it tomorrow to the theatre?
not if you didn't
Oh
want to
my
get
God.
stopped and searched.
That'd be very good. I could say that it's like an anxiety thing, or like a good luck charm. Like, I believe that the show will go wrong if he's not there. And
Are
they
you going to
would
like
believe me.
fold him into like a seat?
His legs fold the other way though, so it just look like he's kneeling up in prayer for the whole show.
Also, if you sat him on a seat, like he'll blind the
so-
3 rows
yeah,
behind
it's
him because
quite-
he's all top.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on above the waist there, old
Yeah.
Steve. What else is there?
Well, you can find you
us.
personally at Isaac BD
Why
or
not?
myself.
Also
at
on
DE
Instagram.
Delane.
Why not?
Yeah,
I don't post very much, but
I don't post a single.
my
thing.
stories are always very good.
I enjoy your Instagram stories.
I like Instagram stories. I've really come round to it as an art form.
Yeah, it's weird. I hate the format anywhere else.
I hate Snapchat stories, but I like Instagram stories.
Yeah,
despite
I've
them
given
being
up on
fundamentally the same.
Snapchat
think
for
we're-
about 5 years
We're
ago.
too old for Snapchat.
The thing is that I really, it is a very old man sentiment. I really liked it when it was, hey, send like a 3-second picture to someone. Like that's the app.
And now it's
and
very
now it's like, I actually don't know how to send one. I tried the other day and I was like, I don't know where to send this, and I can't see anyone else's. There was just a lot of like Daily Mail articles flashing up at me. I just ran away. Yeah, totally.
We're over the hill of the Snapchat generation.
Yeah, I'm
for
afraid
sure.
so. What we need is Yik Yak back.
Oh, I fucking love Yik Yak. That was the app for me. Last but not least, once you've done the review and you've asked Declan to scream at any family member, maybe they got you a bad present. Maybe you think they're going to get you a bad present. You want to cut that off before it becomes an issue. Preemptive strike. That's what we're all about as a nation, really. When you're done with that, word of mouth, especially at this festive time of year, when you're going to be going back to your probably depressing hometown in the middle of nowhere, probably lots of buried memories there.
Are you just talking to me?
Wow!
Are we still recording?
Oh, are you going to be sitting there with, all of the family members that you've got? Anyway, wherever you
I
are
love
in the
my home
world,
and my family.
and you're stuck amongst people that you tolerate them, and sometimes more, sometimes a lot less. You're going to be wanting to have some conversational ammunition up your sleeve, in your toolkit, in the arsenal. And one such great bit of chat to sling about is podcasts and recommendations therefore. And what I'm saying is, tell your nan.
Read them the review that you sent.
That's a nice little double call to action. I like that. That's very neat. But tell them about the show. Tell them a favourite episode. Send them a link. Maybe buy them. Well, we don't have a merch store, so maybe say you'll buy them that next year.
Yeah.
Maybe donate to the Patreon on their behalf, patreon.com/shamecity. Things like that.
Or steal their card details and get them to do it as well.
Even better. And we, obviously, we can say that was a joke, but between you and me, it's deadly serious.
What happened to all those warnings that were like, make sure you've got permission from the card holder?
I think everyone just sort of got over
Because it's interesting that there are some things where, like credit cards have been around and the use of them for ages and that hasn't been a thing. And then there was a 5-year period where that was after absolutely everything that was ever said on TV, and then it went. But it's been how long since the smoking ban? And there's still
ages.
fucking no smoking signs all over the tube.
Yeah.
When do you think we won't need those anymore?
Anyway, whilst old grandfather Declan reminisces about the smoking
The
ban.
good old days.
The pub were covered in mist.
When you could light up on the tube. You couldn't
Snowflakes.
see the doors.
Womibomb. Word of mouth is best of mouth. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Maybe write it in your letter to Santa, because I think he would like to get involved in a big way, as would all of those lovely little elves. Anything else, Declan? We've got the Patreon, and we're going to be doing, I think, some sort of 12 Days of Christmas thing. I guess we just
12
announced.
Shames of Christmas.
12 Shames of
probably.
Christmas, yeah. We haven't quite
the
finalised
branding
what it's
on.
going to be, but it's going to be great.
It's going to be odd.
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be odd. We're going to get the pitch shift. back
Weirdest thing
involved.
is, I don't currently have a working computer, so it's going to be fun to work out how we make that
that is good.
all happen.
Is it all gone?
No, it's there, but I don't have any space to put anything.
Oh, yes, of course.
So we'll work all of that out, but that's on us. So what I'm saying is,
Isaac's basically just got a screen and he's put a drawing of Microsoft Word and he just clicks around randomly. Does it all in his head.
it's really good. Me and Steve have a whale of a time. It's a good time to hop on the Patreon. It'd be a good, Christmas gesture of goodwill to all men, but especially me and Declan.
Yeah.
We need it, lads. Until episode 123.
It's going to be a big 2019.
Shaping up for a good one. 123, I feel like we should commemorate somehow, because
Okay.
that's nice, isn't it? We're
Yeah,
not going to
I
get
like
consecutive numbers for a while.
God, ages.
Yeah, really long time. I've been Isaac, you've been,
I've been Declan.
and I've been... My name's Steve. See you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye!
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.